Welcome, listeners. This is the Mental Breakdowns podcast with myself, Zoe, along with Fred Debose. This is the intro to our second episode where we dive into the topic of substance use disorder, also known as alcohol and drug addiction. Fred and I really enjoyed ourselves diving into this topic, as I think you will hear. And yeah, some pretty interesting stuff and some stuff that I think is important that we also left out that I'll insert on the outro. But without further ado, here is episode 2 on substance use disorder. Enjoy. Welcome to the Mental Breakdowns podcast. I am Zoe.
And I'm Fred.
Welcome. We were just geeking out over the sound bowl. It made some crazy sound waves on the computer. Anyway.
Nerd.
Yeah. Welcome this week. First off, just like to thank everybody that showed their support and their well wishes and constructive critiques for our first debut episode, our series debut. Really appreciated that feedback, and it definitely gave us a boost to keep going. So here we are. Yeah. First up, current news and world events topics stuff. Mrs. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, I cried a bit. It's just bad timing. I'm glad for her,
Right?
because she's resting in peace. But I wish she could have stuck it out. But and she tried.
She did.
That woman gave it all.
Right. You see her workout video where she's in the gym and she's got a little 3-pound weights.
Oh no, yeah, she was about it. She was about it, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I need to let her go.
Right. Yeah, that's the only thing that's giving me relief right now is just knowing that she's in a much better place.
She's in a respite.
Like, super better place. Like, 2020.
Yes.
She's fine.
She's totally fine. Yeah.
Technically
and
fine.
for what she's seen, she's...
Right.
She's done everything.
Yeah.
Twice.
Exactly. She's lived a full-ass life that one can only just hope to aspire to just a little bit.
I think we should ring the bell 3 times out of respect.
All right. I'm down.
Thank you.
Namaste. And Miss Ginsburg, we pray. And also, just like one last thing too, just because I know a lot of people are scared about the Supreme Court moving to a more conservative era, and I just hold on to the fact that there's already been cases that quote unquote conservative judges have sided with the quote unquote liberal judges and vice versa. So there's already been examples of what would it be called? Bipartisanism.
Yeah.
Which there shouldn't even be in the Supreme Court, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. John Lennon's killer says he's sorry for despicable act.
What?
Yeah, Mark Chapman.
I haven't even heard of him. I mean, I know who John Lennon is, but wow.
That's his picture.
Why do you bring this on me like this? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves a second chance. I do believe that. So I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that I don't know where he was that
Mentally
yes, and we've all been in dark places and we've all done dark things,
and physically.
and so if I'm gonna stand by who I say I am, then I need to say, well, good job.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's apologizing for it. But I don't know if he's done this in the past. This is 40 years after the death, so he's been locked up for a good 4 decades now.
Yeah. And he's not going to get out. I mean, it's not like so. I believe apologies from jail when you're not getting out. There's no reason for you to apologize.
Well, this was his 11th parole hearing.
Oh, he was. Oh, see, you didn't give me the whole. You have to start sending me the news ahead of time.
I might have to,
because
right.
Okay, so then then I'm back where I started. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Freedom's looking really nice right now.
Yeah, But never mind. Okay, let's not.
I don't know if he pleaded insanity for this. I mean, obviously, I don't think it worked since he's been locked up.
Been locked up. Crazy. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Insane.
Right.
Okay,
You're in cell C8.
Is that with an E or an I?
Right. Yeah. Fingerprint.
Insane or insane? What's going on?
It could be both. But yeah, shouts out to Yoko Ono. Hope she's doing great. She's still alive. She's still alive and kicking. I checked out her Wikipedia. She's like 86.
Wow.
Yeah, she just kept going.
She did.
Good for her.
What do you do?
Right.
She was a pimp before pimping was in. I'm just saying.
Facts.
Yeah.
That is facts.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah.
before I get derogatory, we're gonna go to the next topic.
Next.
So Amazon is in some hot water, criticized over their Black Lives Don't Matter caps. This is the one I was like,
wait a minute,
holding my mouth over.
Amazon sold that?
Yeah.
They sold that?
Not Amazon themselves, but they allowed it on their site. Like,
how long did they take it out? How long was that?
All right. Yeah. So Amazon has since removed the hats, which were being sold by a third party. They just don't check their third parties, though.
But why wouldn't that says Black Lives Don't Matter? No one in your infrastructure, your global infrastructure, said
caught that. Wait.
Wait. Does that? Wait. Excuse me, sir.
It says don't. Yeah.
I'm not gonna have to cancel my Amazon. I'm just getting used to it.
No, don't. I'm getting tired of the cancel culture. But it's also just no excuse.
How do you
miss it? It's a trucker's hat with a white center and in black words says, or black lettering says, Black Lives Don't Matter. It's not even cute.
It's not. Yeah, it's not hot. It's like a meth hat. It's like somebody in a trailer home with a meth problem would wear this hat. The stitching is. It just looks. It looks like what's that cartoon? Bart, The Simpsons looks like a Simpsons hat, but from the cartoon, like not,
right. Not serious.
It's really bad. But I'm gonna wait. We're gonna probably have to talk about that one again,
right?
Because I need more information. Because I support Amazon a lot, too much.
Yeah. You want to hear their statement?
Yes.
All sellers must follow our selling guidelines, and those who do not will be subject to action, including potential removal of their account. The product in question is no longer available. So,
how about the company that's? I mean, I'm sure it was like made in Taiwan or somewhere, or made in in some place that's negligible. I'm not worried about that, but the company that drew that up and said, let's print this and sell it on Amazon. Who's that?
It cost $12 or €12.96 and was described by the seller as high quality with a unique and fashionable design, which was eye-catching, quote, eye-catching, end quote. The hat's elegant, quote, again, appearance made it a nice, quote, nice present for family and friends in Kentucky. No, they didn't say the Kentucky part. They didn't say the Kentucky part. I just Kentucky.
Okay, all right.
It's,
okay,
yeah. Right. Do what you guys do.
It's just, I try and avoid that news, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much of it.
Right.
And we don't know so much of it, or the behind the scenes. So I really try and stay away from feeding into the frenzy of cancel culture. Kill the cops, cancel. I try and avoid that because I think a lot of times we react,
right,
and a reaction is usually not the best solution.
That's why Russia wants it.
And they can have it.
Beeper. Yeah, I try to find us positive news, like searching positive news, but it just says like what comes up in the searches. I told you last week.
Was that the
positive coronavirus cases?
Was the hat
good news?
Yeah.
No one died.
Okay, something had to. Okay.
What happened this week? That was positive.
Okay, well, let's just do our lives then. Something happened positive to me. In fact,
right.
I had some friends.
Yeah.
Who were in relapse, come out of relapse.
That is positive.
And they came over and we had dinner and we shared and we had a really good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome, and I felt super validated, vindicated, whatever, for my intention and the work and the things I put out, the energy I'm putting out.
Yeah.
It comes back when my people come back to me and say, I'm off that shit and let's have dinner and talk about how we're going to prevent that from happening again.
It feeds you, that feeds them, that feeds...
Yeah. It's that work. It's that recovery work that they say, like helping others helps you help yourself.
Right.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Because I was in a bit of I wasn't in a rut, but I was, I'm just over a year, so you get the tickle toes, you get the itchies. But it's like that's gone. Like I'm plainly in full help mode with these guys who are doing well. Newly, it's early, but they came to me, and it's just, it feels good.
Good.
You got some good news?
I was trying to listen to what you were saying and think of one at the same time, and I don't know. I'm still employed. Okay. So I stopped talking to my sponsor, or me and my sponsor lost contact for like 2 to 3 weeks, and I wanted to just quit and find another one, and instead I just reinitiated that contact with that sponsor, so we're talking again. So I guess that's good news.
That's great news.
I don't know why we lost contact anyway. He sleeps 20 feet away from me in my SLE, but that's neither here nor there. Love you.
It's not.
If you're listening, love you.
It's us owning our part.
Right. Owning my part, because communication, I believe, is a two-way street, and it takes two to tango, and another cool phrase that I can't think of. But yeah, I couldn't just blame it all on him. Like, nope. He's not contacting me.
That's the addiction part of us. That's
right.
We want to blame.
Yeah, well, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you talking to me?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that was our news for the week, and now we'll be moving on to our health recovery topic for the day. I still got to get that down.
We'll figure it out.
Today our topic is, and it probably should have been the first episode, but that's neither here nor there, substance use disorder, or alcohol use disorder, formerly known as addiction.
Addiction.
All right, so substance use disorder, formerly known as addiction. Substance use disorder, well, I'll get into our personal experiences with it and the terminology, but let's just go with the definitions right now. Wikipedia, and I'm sorry if there's any healthcare professionals that are cringing right now, but there wasn't any exact clear Webster or dictionary.com definition. So
I like the Wikipedia one though.
Wikipedia, I like Wikipedia. I don't know, everybody gives Wikipedia bad name.
We're not worried about them.
Yeah. Substance use disorder is the persistent use of drugs, including alcohol, because alcohol is a drug, despite substantial harm and adverse consequences. That's it in a nutshell. Let's check out the DSM-5. That is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, commonly used by psychiatrists and psychologists around the country. 5 stands for 5th edition. So, the DSM-5, this is from verywellmind.com. The DSM-5 recognizes substance-related disorders resulting from the use of 10 separate classes of drugs: alcohol, caffeine, cannabis, hallucinogens. God, I cannot say that word.
What is it?
Phencytoline.
Phencytoline. Yeah. Well, that's what we're gonna say.
Yeah. And similarly, yes,
multi-syllable words,
and other hallucinogens such as LSD, also inhalants, opioids, sedatives, hypnotics.
All the drugs.
All the drugs.
All the drugs.
Okay,
all the drugs. All the mind-altering stuff.
Right. Substance use disorders are patterns of symptoms resulting from the use of a substance that you continue to take despite experiencing problems as a result. I think that's like the kicker right there.
Yeah, that's the same thing as Wikipedia.
Taking them as your life is falling the fuck apart. So after this break, we'll go ahead and get into our own personal experiences with this topic, substance use disorder, also known as addiction.
Addiction.
Hello loves, this is Zoe again. We have no sponsors currently at the moment, but if you have your own business in services or ads that you want to have advertised on the Mental Breakdowns podcast, just give either Fred or myself a little message or a tap or a wink or a foot tap in the bathroom stall. Just kidding. Or not. But seriously, get in touch with us any way you can on whichever platform you may be listening to. Alright, back to the show. Cheers.
Welcome back.
Alright, let's get into our own personal experiences with substance use disorder. Fred, can you go first, please, so I can...
Fine.
Siphon.
Oh, you want to use me?
No.
Just like an addict.
Inspiration.
Okay. All right, I'm going to use that. All right. So I'm here to inspire Zoe on what he's going to say. Anyways, you and them damn shakes. A major part of my addiction is that I'm also compulsive. I'm obsessive compulsive. Just as a person, in my normal state, I obsess. My mind runs over time. I sleep on an average. Just to give you an example of who I am, I sleep on an average between 3 to 4 hours a night. Always. I eat the same thing. I would eat the same thing every day if I could. I don't for health reasons. I'm very obsessive compulsive. So, and I think for me, that is what really fed my addiction. The first time I used drugs and alcohol, everything I used, I was hooked. I knew when I drank for the first time, I was like, oh, this is going to be a problem, because of how I do things. And so my addiction just really presented itself early on. And I think that that's actually what drug it out, because I constantly, in my obsessive compulsive manner, tried to stay it off, tried to do things, like I would take a year. I did a year just white knuckling it. I would do geographicals. I would do all these things, and it was just me being obsessive compulsive about everything. So me quitting drugs is hard, because it's a lifelong process. For me, what I struggle with is the obsessiveness that I have about things. So like when I I'm not using drugs and alcohol now, but I'm now I switched it to food. When I first got off, it was exercise, and then I gave that up because I got into food, and then porn slips in and out of there sometimes. My addictive behavior and its consequences exist in other areas. So that for me personally, it's not just drugs.
Yeah.
I will. That my behavior, my addictive behavior, presents itself in anything that I allow myself to become obsessive over. I gain too much weight when I let myself go about when I obsess over food in the wrong way. I've exercised. I've been anorexic before. I obsessed over my weight body. I had body dysmorphia. I've done all kinds of things over obsession. So, I think that anybody who becomes addicted to drugs becomes obsessive because that's what the drugs do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you are necessarily obsessive as a person. But I am an obsessive person. I have, I believe I have obsessive compulsive disorder. I have a lot of tics and a lot of a lot of what people call nervous energy. But I think it's just it's obsessive compulsive, and that was a real huge part of my addiction. And that's been my experience in addiction, is me just dealing with that obsessive compulsive part of who I am. And it's been a struggle, and it's going to always be a struggle because I'm learning to deal with and navigate and come to terms with my obsessive compulsive behavior.
Yeah. I think for the time being, at least, I could definitely see you 20, 30 years and just finally reach that plateau where you just totally chilled out. Do you think?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't see that, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm finally not stressed out about that.
Yeah. Not resentful at it.
No. That is obsessive thought. That for me, that would create obsessive thought. Is that if I'm trying to get to something, that creates obsessive compulsive thought process in it, and I can latch onto that. Monkey brain and relapse is what that would create for me. So no, I am. This is how I'm wired. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm learning how to be who I am in this world today.
Nice.
Channel my behavior into ways that are healthy for me.
Right.
That's why I go to the meetings. That's why I'm so into my recovery. Is because that's why I'm doing therapy, meetings every day. Aftercare with the rehab program that we went to. I'm not sponsoring people, but I'm helping people. I'm reaching out to people constantly to make to give my number and help people get off drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Because I'm allowing my obsessiveness to run wild in recovery. Gotcha. But at some point, I will have to check myself.
Yeah.
Before I wreck myself. Amen.
I think Jesus said that.
Jesus Lord.
Yeah. No, that's a direct quote.
Yes.
So my substance use disorder. The first time I heard this was when I first went to outpatient in Kaiser last year in March and stuff, like March or something around that time frame, March 2019. And I seen it on my file. I don't know if I was supposed to see that file, but I seen it. Yeah, I seen it. Oh, it's for the disability. So when they were talking to the insurance people so they can cut me my check, they had to put something down.
Weren't those great?
Right. It was amazing.
Okay,
but it didn't say addiction or addict or drug addict or junkie. It said substance use disorder, and I was like, what the hell is this? So terminology wise, I'm glad that they have another name for it, I guess, because addiction, we already know, is so muddied in a whole bunch of other ish. And like Fred was saying, I know there's a lot of other subdivisions under the umbrella that is addiction: food, sex, gambling, video games, pornography. But for simplicity's sake, we're just talking about drugs and alcohol right now, or drugs, because alcohol is a drug. Tell your mama, brother, sister,
everyone.
My experience with it, I really relate to the continuing to use despite negative consequences. And I think that's what a lot of people on the outside don't get. Normies, as we call them in recovery. My life isn't, your life is in shambles. This is your third time in jail. Da 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 da. Why do you keep using? And that's the part that I try to stress to people. That's what makes it a mental disorder of the brain. My brain is broken. Well, not broken right now. I'm technically in remission, but my brain was broken during those times. There's this hierarchy of needs. I'm not exactly sure what the correct term for it is, but we have the food, sex, security, substance use disorder hijacks the brain and makes the drug the number one. Mm-hmm. So where you don't care about food, don't give a shit about sex, security, home, what? There's cardboard right there,
and there's measurements. Like there's scientific measurements. Like there are numbers involved, and right. I remember like when they were talking about it, was like food, sex, and shelter are all close to each other. They're all like if we're talking about a scale of 100, food, shelter, and sex are like ranging between 10 and 15.
Right.
And drugs go into the hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking about that? I was like.
Right, it just overtakes.
How do you stop?
Hijacks. So my experience with it personally, on a personal level, I went so deep with my use into opioids, that I didn't start caring. I could feel myself starting not to care about shit else. Goals and aspirations I once had fell by the wayside. Work, I could give a damn about those people. That was sober or high. Family, I was starting to be less interested in my family members, my nieces. The drug was the almighty king in my life. And I'm just, I don't know. It's crazy scary to think about. If you ever try to put yourself in someone suffering from this in their shoes, to think that you don't have any control after you go past a certain point. And I never want to get back there again.
Yeah, and I think that we're saying, it's the telling someone, to tell an adult that you're out of control. That's with the people in the room and the addicts that I work with. That's the thing that they hold on to most. They want to do it their way. They want to fix it. They want to try, to make their own program. And one of the things that everyone agrees, the one cure for the one way to process and work with your addictive behavior is to resign to the fact that you don't have control over that.
Oh yeah. Surrender.
Surrendering is the number one ingredient for the recipe of being cured of, and really of anything. It's for other people who are not addicts who are listening. It applies to anything. Anytime you want to make a lifestyle change, because that's what we're talking about. These are psychosocial, physical. What is it? Psychosocial, physical, mental. Well, all the different areas of life and living and being alive.
Right.
To change all of that, you can't do that alone, because because when you're addicted to something, you're affecting all of those areas. You've done carnage in all of those areas. You've either abandoned or destroyed those areas. Right. So in order to come out of, and face and to process it, you have to be, number one, you have to be sober, which is, so you have to tell your brain, which is used to being rewarded hundreds of times over eating, sex, and shelter, to say, we're not going to do that anymore. Mm-hmm. I want you to get used to eating sandwiches again. just because that's a hard sell. It's a hard sell to your brain. That's like Zoe said. That's broken.
Right.
So yeah, I think the resignation part is what we all struggle with. I say I'm obsessive, and that's definitely a drive, and that's affected how I dealt with my addiction. But definitely the brokenness of my mind was just bewildering to me. I wasn't ready to accept the fact that I couldn't do it.
Right.
I didn't have the answer.
By ourselves.
By myself.
And you bring up a great point right before we move on about the ruining of all the other pillars in your life, professional, family, and stuff. We're told in recovery that this is a family disease. Even if you aren't the one suffering from this substance use disorder, just being in close proximity or in a close relationship, cousin, brother, sister, mother, father, it affects everyone in that intermediate or immediate
and extended
circle.
I think extended too.
You think extended?
Oh yeah, my whole family was affected by my addiction.
Yeah.
Everyone was involved somehow.
Right.
Through worrying.
Yeah.
Through
codependency.
The hurt feelings are hurt.
Yeah. Sucks everyone.
Yeah. I mean, and I have. Do you have addicts in your family?
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. So I experienced guilt of the addicts. They were like, "Did I do this?" Like it was complex.
Yeah.
When
that was my mom.
Yeah. In my sobriety and having different conversations with my family, I heard like weird conversations. Like, "Oh, did I do this to you? Was it my fault?" I was like, "We've never even done drugs before together." And like, "Oh, like yeah, you were just always high."
Right.
But like, it affects everyone.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. Just something positive to leave a note on. Yeah. So after this break, we're gonna go answer. We're short for time right now. Maybe a question, maybe two, and then wrap up the episode. All right. You want to ring my bell? You can ring my bell.
Ring my bell. Ring my bell. Ah.
Hello, loves. Me again. Do you like what you hear? Well, we could use your help in making it sound even better. Don't forget there's a GoFundMe page for the Mental Breakdowns podcast that we could really use your help on. Just go to GoFundMe and search Mental Breakdowns with a Z. That's 2 words, Mental Breakdowns with a Z. Alright, let's wrap up the show. Alright, and we're back with the makeup. What?
What are we back with? The makeup? That's next week.
Alright, that's next week. We're back with the Mental Breakdowns podcast. We have a question in from a listener also in Southern California. Fred, you want to take it away?
Hello. I'm using a different voice to disguise the questions. The questioner's identity. Hello. Question I just thought of. Do you have any triggers? Like, does anything really make you crave drugs again? Or is it kind of always in the back of your head?
Yeah, no, it is always in the back of my head. Can I see that question? Yeah, triggers. All right, let me just go down the triggers. Yes, I have triggers, persons, places, and things. Certain people that I used to hang out with in the past, even if I haven't seen them in months, if they just text me, that can be triggering. Does anything really make you crave drugs again? I guess really tough, hard situations, or seeing other people who look like they're having a great time. Sometimes they might not even be on the drug that I preferred. It's just the act of seeing someone not feeling, dealing, or taking responsibility for anything in that moment of time. And it's just, I look at them like, Oh, I want to not feel, deal, or take responsibility for anything for a second, or is it always kind of in the back of? It is kind of in the back of my head. I don't know about for everyone. Fred will speak shortly, but for me, it is. It is. We're still really both in early recovery too, so I think that will change. I have hope that that will change, but for now, yes, there is that always, just that thought, just that remembrance of, oh yeah, just last year I was living a totally different life. And it's not necessarily just the drugs that I think of. It's the drugs and all the consequences that came with it, which isn't, which I had to train my brain to do, to not just think about the drugs, but to play the tape forward and think about me emptying my savings account last year and losing jobs and just being a total hot mess. So yeah, that's my answer.
For me, it's not constantly in my mind. It is often in my mind. I'm saying that it's not constantly in my mind because that's a new thing, that it's not constantly in my mind. So I have experienced moments where I'm just doing whatever it is I'm doing. But I'm always aware of it. As a protection for myself. And also remember, I'm obsessive compulsive. So yeah, it's always on my mind. Triggers. Triggers for me are like people's, places, or things. I went to a hotel a couple weeks ago with my boyfriend, and hotels for me were someplace that I would go to do drugs with friends, and do everything that we would do. Do everything that we would do when we bought drugs, or went to consume drugs. And so this was the first time my boyfriend was like, it was really hot. It was during that heat wave, and we were like, let's go to a hotel. And I was like, oh yeah, good idea. So we went to a nice hotel. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we started to buy the room, I started to kind of freak out. And I told him, I was like, oh, wow, this is really triggering. He's like, it'll be okay. Yeah. It'll be okay. But it was hard. Like, it was hard going. I had to deal with, it triggered me. It brought up a lot of stuff. But my boyfriend is very supportive of me. He's sober, and we just worked through it and had a good time. And then what was the last part?
Did you steal a bath soap?
No, did I? Oh.
Anything make you crave?
No, just people, places, or things, and yeah. So it is always in the back of my head, and it's different for everyone. It's definitely different for everyone. Depends on the drugs you were on. Depends on how you did the drugs. Right. The triggers reflect the way someone used and how I used. It's definitely people, places, or things. I have cut off all the people that I did drugs with. No, I don't have contact with them. So that's one thing that I did. So I don't get texts or phone calls, or what does happen is on social media where we share stuff. Rarely, but I'm so locked into my program that as soon as I have experience something like that, I just I have 100 people I can call. So
boom.
Yeah, it goes away. It's fleeting now. Good question.
Yeah, that was an amazing question. Please, if you guys have any questions that you want us to answer regarding mental health, addiction, substance use disorders,
clean underwear, laundry lines.
He said that because he saw me itching. Whatever. These are tight. They shrunk. Go ahead and send any questions you have in, either personally to Fred or I, or through any other platforms that you may be listening on. And we'll try to answer those, try to answer more in the episodes to come.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap it up with some gratitude. One thing we're grateful for. One thing I'm grateful for in this moment is, God, I said that last week.
Say it again if you're grateful for it.
I'll expand. I'm grateful for my life that I have now, which includes the new recovery friends I've made. Not just new recovery friends, new friends I've made, and people that I can really rely on to give me glowing job references and and just be there for me. And it's not that I call on them all the time either, because I'm still isolating only child, but just to know that they're in the background if I ever need to press that button, if you will. Just knowing that is super comforting and gives me the energy and the fearlessness that I need to go and tackle those goals that I dropped off of about a year ago. So yeah, my new life. I'm very grateful.
My gratitude is around it's really the same thing. Just I'm gonna just name a few things. I'm grateful for my home that I've been able to maintain and take to the next level. I'm grateful for my family, still my parents and my uncles and aunts, and still being alive to support me and witness my growth around my change. I'm thankful for my boyfriend. I said your name. There you go. For supporting me, for showing me the conditionality of unconditional love. And it's thank you all who are a part of this, because I could not have done it without each and every one of you, truthfully. And I used to think that sounded cheesy when people say that kind of stuff, but it's when it's true, it's true.
It's fucking true. It's so true.
It's true. It's just true. God damn it. Like, so I really, Mark, you took me to the rehab. It took a whole village to get my narrow behind to the place where I got sober, to walk over the line, because I was getting high to a point where I didn't care if I lived or died. And so that's where I was a year ago. And now I'm talking with my friend Zoe about topics.
Yeah. And your narrow, or your behind is not narrow.
You know what? First of all, this is a radio show. This is a show. They don't need to know about my genetics. Right now. I'm a thin white man.
On certain days.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Yes, good sir. Thank you very much. All right, this was the Mental Breakdowns podcast. We'll be back next Thursday, and I'll be talking, hopefully, in proper English.
Never.
Never. Thank you so much, and we'll leave you with a little namaste as we get the hell out of here. Good night. All right, and that was our show, episode 2 of the Mental Breakdowns podcast, featuring substance use disorder. There's just one last thing I wanted to enter in that I didn't have time to record during our original recording, and that is the criteria for substance use disorders in the DSM-5. This is just in case someone might know someone that's struggling, or if someone's struggling themselves and is wondering if they are slipping into this area, if you will. Okay, so just real quick. 1, taking the substance in larger amounts or for longer than you're meant to. 2, wanting to cut down or stop using the substance but not managing to. 3, spending a lot of time getting, using, or recovering from use of the substance. 4, cravings and urges to use the substance. 5, not managing to do what you should at work, home, or school because of substance use. 6, continuing to use even when it causes problems in relationships. 7, giving up important social, occupational, or recreational activities because of substance use. 8, using substances again and again, even when it puts you in danger. 9, continuing to use, even when you know you have a physical or psychological problem that could have been caused or made worse by said substance. 10, needing more of the substance to get the effect you want, aka tolerance. And then 11, development of withdrawal symptoms, which can be relieved by taking more of the substance. Now they have different severities of substance use disorders, depending on how many of these criteria you get. I'm just doing a quick look. Yeah, I had it. I had all 11. It's not a contest, but I'm just saying. I had all 11. I did have severe substance use disorder, and a year later, I feel great and have never been better. And I just say that to let people know out there that it's possible, that it can get better, and that help is out there. It's really just the matter of making that first step and asking for it. All right. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We will see you guys next Thursday here on the Mental Breakdowns podcast. Ciao.